One of the questions in Chapter 8 that I answered was, what are 4 important parenting styles and how are they linked with adolescent development? So, authoritarian parenting is one, and it's restrictive and punitive. And parents demand that adolescents follow directions and respect work and effort. And adolescents usually display more socially incompetent behavior. Authoritative parenting encourages adolescents to be independent, but there's still limits, still controls that are had. And adolescents usually display more socially competent behavior. Neglectful parenting is when parents are uninvolved, and adolescents are usually socially incompetent and lack self-control. And then indulgent parenting is when parents are highly involved in the lives of their adolescents, but they place few demands or controls on them. So again, adolescents are usually socially incompetent and lack control. Next question I answered was, what roles do mothers and fathers play in adolescent development, and how effective is co-parenting? So, studies have shown that mothers are usually the main caregivers and have more responsibility when raising infants, children, and adolescents. One thing that was interesting to me was that fathers are beginning to take a more active role, but that divorce is usually less likely when fathers have sons. Pretty interesting. And they increase the time that they spend with their children when they have sons. And they are more attentive to sons and daughters, and they engage in more activities with their sons. Co-parenting co-parenting places adolescent development at risk when parents undermine each other, when they disparage each other, when they lack cooperative skills. Co-parenting that shows cooperation, mutual respect, and communication helps adolescents develop positive attitudes towards males and females. And then the last question I answered, what is the nature of grandparent-grandchildren relationships, and how are these relationships changing? It just worked out. This is Ari's world. This is my grandbaby from her birthday party. But anyway, that's one reason I asked the question. So it says grandparents play an important role in the lives of their grandchildren, and especially when there are occurrences of family crisis, so death, divorce, illness, things like that. Grandparents are usually the ones who come and step up. Grandmothers tend to have more contact with grandchildren than grandfathers, and that is possibly because, again, mothers are more of the nurturers, so it would make sense that grandmothers are more of the nurturers as well. In 2010, 7.4 million children in the United States lived with at least one grandparent, and that figure is steadily increasing. And grandparent involvement was also linked to better adjustment in single-parent families and step-parent families. It didn't make as much of a difference in two-parent biological families. And there was also information about how when you have African American children, there's more likely to be one grandparent, the grandmother, raising them. When you have white children, there's more likely that two grandparents will be raising them. So it sort of follows the trend of parenting in general. So thank you, Antonia Collins. This is my video. I'm doing it right this time.